Hello there and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be trying out a new eyeshadow palette from the FEBBLE brand. So I've tried one of the palette by the FEBBLE brand. By the way, you can definitely be forgiven for having no idea who the FEBBLE brand is, because honestly it's not a brand that I'm very familiar with, but what I do know is I've tried one of their eyeshadow palettes before and I absolutely loved it. It was definitely one of my very favourite eyeshadow palettes from ALIEXPRESS. The quality was super special, just a really high quality palette. So I was recently surfing on ALIEXPRESS, as I tend to do in the evenings, and I came across a new FEBBLE palette. I knew I had to get it because the previous one had been that phenomenal. I couldn't resist. So today we're going to be trying out that palette. So the palette's called the Eternal Charm palette. So this is what she looks like. She has 18 different shades. She's got glitter. She's got shimmer. Well, actually, I would say this, it kind of looks more like a foiled shimmer. You know, the kind of shimmer that kind of, it takes on a cream-like consistency when you swatch it, because it just kind of melts into your skin. I think that's the kind of shimmer that we're dealing with here today. And we also have some mattes. I have swatched a couple of these and oh my gosh, I almost fell to the floor and died. I didn't. That's a complete exaggeration, but I was, oh my gosh, so excited. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do swatches now live, because do you know what? I can't be doing with that swatching off camera lifestyle. No, that's not for me. I want to live my best swatching life, and I think the best swatching life is doing it here for you to see. So we're going to be doing that in a sec, but I just wanted to tell you that this palette costs £10.48. It's definitely up there with one of the most expensive palettes I've ever bought from AliExpress. Generally, my budget will be about £5. So for me to spend £10.48 on this, it's the equivalent of me buying a £50 NARS palette. This is the NARS of AliExpress. I'm going to do the swatches and then we're just going to jump right into a look. By the way, I know my eyebrows are looking crazy. Honestly, when I put them on this morning, they looked good and I was like really proud of them, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, yes, I'm living my best eyebrow dreams. I've realised my eyebrow dreams. But the more I kind of look at them, the more crazy they look. Do you know what? I'm just going with it. So okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do swatches. We're going to swatch the mattes first and then we're going to move on to the shimmers. Just to touch upon the shades in this palette, I think they look really beautiful. I'm loving that we've got the pop of purple, the pop of icy cool blue, and I'm also loving the bronze and the plum and the champagne and then the peach and the mauve, and I'm just loving all of it. I'm loving all of it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the mattes first. Oh my gosh. So if the swatches are anything to go by, and I don't know, I feel like I'm sometimes I think they are, sometimes I think they aren't. Like, I've had some really, really poor swatches that, you know, when I've actually gone in with a brush on my eyelid, the shadows have performed great, because I do think there's a big difference between, you know, swatching a shadow on your finger and then, like, I don't know, adding some force to create a swatch. I think, I don't know, it does help shadows out. But anyway, just based on the swatches of this eyeshadow palette, I think it's going to be wonderful. Honestly, I do not want to be disappointed. So the shimmers were, I mean, they are. They're not were. They are absolutely gorgeous, highly metallic and reflective, very soft and creamy. There were 3 different formulas that I've experienced. So we have the foiled shimmer. Actually, there maybe is 4, because we've got like the very chunky, as you will have seen, particularly with the blue and I think this kind of champagne-y shade. They were definitely quite crumbly. And you had to kind of like, you know, not force them. I mean, that just sounds ridiculous. But you had to like, you know, push them down. And then they created like a melted metal look. So there were 2 really like deeply, intensely foiled textures. Then we also had just your typical kind of shimmer, which was the cranberry one, which didn't really have much texture to it. We had the glitter, and then we had some more beautiful kind of foils, but they weren't quite as chunky as the other super intense foils. So I think this palette had like 4 different consistencies of shimmer, if that makes sense, but they just look absolutely drop dead gorgeous, and I do not know how I'm going to select one, like only one to put on my eye today. I do not know. Hello, so it's Editing Anwen here, and as I was trying out these shadows, like which you will see shortly, I was thinking to myself, like, oh my gosh, these shadows, like especially like the shimmers, really reminded me of another brand's shimmers. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, like which shimmers are these that I'm thinking of? And it was only like after I finished filming that I realised this palette, well, not the palette but the shimmers in the palette, are so reminiscent of the Focallure We Care Your Favours and the Focallure Twilight palette, which were the very first 2. Does that sound strange? Very first 2, but they were the first couple of eyeshadow palettes that I got from AliExpress, and they really were the catalyst for me jumping further into the makeup on AliExpress, because I was so impressed by them. And I feel like definitely with Focallure, as time has gone on, their shimmers have got less impressive. But the shimmers in this FEBBLE palette are so reminiscent of, in my opinion, Focallure at their very best. You know, Focallure in their heyday, kind of like Anwen at uni, you know, she was at her best. She wasn't living her best life, she's living her best life now, being a mom, like really, but I had a wild time at uni. There was lots of wildness. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to say that I hope you enjoyed the rest of the video, and I will see you soon. Bye. The mattes were equally delicious to swatch. They were very creamy, like they weren't very powdery. You know, like we had a lot of time with matte shadows, they are powdery. These ones aren't. They feel creamy to the point that I don't know if they're like hybrid, like gelée shadows. I just don't know. But they definitely do have a bit of like a satin look to them. And you can kind of see they're not your typical powder matte. They're just very smooth and creamy. And I am all for it. I just am. So we're going to jump into the look. And I think I'm going to begin with the shade Naked Look, which is a really light peach shade. I'm going to begin with just popping that into my crease, and then I'm just going to try and make the decision as to what I'm actually going to put on my lid, because I have so many choices. I'm overwhelmed with choices and I ain't complaining. I just ain't. I'm a little bit concerned because I do know that, you know, creamy eyeshadows can actually be quite difficult to blend. Sometimes I find that they do swatch really well, but they don't really work so fabulously with a brush. However, saying that, this is beautiful. Oh my gosh, beautiful. I just had a really good feeling that this palette was going to be good, and I really feel like it's going to be good. I mean, look at that. Look at that. And you know, in the pan, this actually looks super, super light. But, you know, it's coming through. It's coming through darker than I ever expected. This is a beautiful peach. So I'm just kind of blending that all up in my crease. Look at that, guys. So beautiful. Also, I didn't mention it, but this palette feels and actually looks really high quality. It's got a lot of weight to it. I think they popped in some weights, I don't know. And also we've got a mirror as well, which is really, really useful. I'm not one of those people that's really kind of, you know, particularly asked if there's a mirror or not in the palette, but it's proving useful today because I've lost my other mirror, which is incredibly sad because I had that mirror since I was about 15. I mean, really. Oh my gosh. So, okay, just going off that first shadow, it blended out so beautifully. I had no complaints. I have no complaints. I don't know why I keep talking like in the past tense. Like, I have no complaints. I do not. So next I'm going to go in with the beautiful shade called Cupid. It's kind of like a light coral, leaning more pink than peach, but yeah, it looks absolutely gorgeous. Interestingly, it actually looks a lot like the shade, the Lime Crime Velveteen, which I believe is also called Cupid. I am going to just use the same brush because that's just the kind of person I am. Again, I'm just going to popping this all up in the crease. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to keep this focused in the center part of my lid. Oh, these shadows are so easy to blend. So easy to blend. You basically don't need to do anything. And I think it's because they're just so creamy. Just so creamy that they do all the hard work for you. Oh my gosh. And because they're like a cream as well. I mean, I've only tried 2 of them, but I feel like because they're very creamy, they're not patchy. They're not patchy at all. Oh, yes. Oh, guys, I love these shades. Oh, okay, so next we're going to go under the eye. I think I'm going to go back in with the 2 shades that I put on the top. So we're going to go in with the light peach and the coral shade. Okay, so I've done under the eye, and then we've done the crease blending out work. I have 0 complaints with how this palette's performing so far. The eyeshadows are some of the easiest I've ever worked with. They just blend out like nothing. Like, I feel like you don't really have to do much because they're so light and creamy, they just blend themselves. I do feel like this eye is a little bit darker than this eye, and I can't work out why. Like, I cannot work out why. And also, just I don't know if you can see that, but the palette, there's quite a bit of fallout on there, but I ain't hating. I ain't. So I was going to use the blue because I really love the look of that icy cool blue, but I don't feel like it's really going to complement the look that I've got going on. So I think I'm going to go with more of a kind of warmer, bronzy kind of look. So I think the shadow that we're going to go with today is, oh my gosh, I just don't know. Should I go with this one? This is kind of like a gold. Oh, God, I really like that one. I like them all, though. I don't think I've been faced with a palette in a long time where I've literally just loved every single shade and had so much choice. Okay, so I like this one, but it's a bit too gold. Okay, so maybe this one. See, I love this one, but is it a bit too cool toned? This one, I think, is going to be the one that I go for. This one is too gold. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go for the champagne one. Oh my gosh, such a hard choice. And I am going to just use my finger to apply because these shadows are, in my opinion, finger shadows. I think they're finger shadows. I think I'm just going to kind of focus it onto the centre of my lid. I'm just willing this to be wonderful. Oh my gosh, and she is. I'm rooting for this palette so much. At the moment, it's literally a perfect palette. A perfect palette. I mean, look at that. Oh, guys, she's so beautiful. Oh my gosh. Right, so we're just going to go ahead and apply more. Usually when I'm applying a shimmer, I will use a wet finger or a wet brush. But because these shimmers are very cream-like, I don't believe that I actually would benefit anymore by wetting my finger or brush, you know, whatever. Oh, guys, look at that. Ooh, she's a peachy princess. I'm so happy with this. So on the inner corner, we're going to pop a little bit of this beautiful, highly textured foiled shimmer called Dazzle. And it looks like that. I'm just going to use a brush to apply this. Not because I think a brush will get the best out of the shadow, but just because I think the brush will make the job a bit easier. So we're gonna start with the brush. This, although I feel like this is going to end up all of my face, I do actually have quite a bit of fallout on my face currently. Just because the shimmer, as I said, it is a bit crumbly. So it's crumbled in all its beautiful glory onto my cheeks. But I do not mind. This brush is definitely too big though. I need a smaller brush. Holy vaginas. Oh, is this one small? Let me see. Oh my gosh, the perfect brush, the perfect brush. You have come to rescue me right now. I'm going to go into Dazzle. Oh my gosh, she's so crumbly. She is so... Yeah, you do definitely need to like pop her, you know, on there using your finger just to get the best out of her. She likes that. Oh my gosh. Yes, bitch, yes. I want more. I want more. I love it, but I want more. I want more. Look at that. Oh yes, she's an icy and a queen. She is. Oh my gosh, it's official. Oh my gosh. Do you know what? I feel like I could even use this shadow as like a really bomb highlighter. Like, look at that. Oh my gosh, she's arrived. Ah, look at that. You can get your highlight to customise with your eyeshadow, and I think that is something beautiful. I'm going to pop more on. Why settle for anything less than perfection? Saves me with those eyebrows. Oh yes. I'm also going to pop a little bit of this shadow just under my brow. Maybe it'll take some of the attention away from my crazy looking eyebrows today. Oh yes. Oh yes. Just the job. I'm just going to go in with my finger though. Like, why am I even messing about with a brush? Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and do my mascara, maybe pop a little bit of highlighter on, and then I'll be back and I'll give you my final thoughts on this palette. Boiler. I love it, honestly.
Oh, is this?
We're filming! Do you like my eye look, Alex?
No.
What? No, look at the beautiful eyes. Do you like it, Alex?
I'm going to say yeah.
Oh, excellent! Yay! Oh, I was just about to say, okay, so this is the final look. Again, completely forgot to do my mascara because I get so distracted doing some little freckles. and trying to decide what to put on my lips, and I've just kept what I've had on my lips all along on. So anyway, I'm going to do my mascara and I will be back. Okay, so I did my mascara and I am here with the final look, which I absolutely love. I know that it's quite natural, quite summery, I would say. It's not like a whole lot of drama or intensity, but I'm really loving it. I feel like I could sit here for many minutes and, you know, rave about this palette, which I could, really could, but in the interest of trying to save everyone time, I'm just going to sum it up in 2 words: fecking flawless. Oh my gosh, this palette, fecking flawless. If FEBBLE want to hire me to be their spokesperson, I would do it. I would do it, because this palette, I would be proud to stand behind or sit next to. Honestly, guys, honestly. And this is, so if you're a fan of the shades in this palette, the shades of the mattes, the shades of the beautiful, intense metallics, I would wholeheartedly what's the word I'm looking for? Recommend. I was thinking in my head, request. Like, I knew it began with R, but I just couldn't think of the word. I would 100% recommend this palette to you. Obviously, if you're not into these shades, then there's no point in you getting the palette. So at the beginning of the video, I said that, you know, I tried another FEBBLE palette and it was absolutely beautiful. And that basically was the whole reason why I wanted to buy this palette. It wasn't even particularly that I was looking, you know, at the pictures of the shades thinking, oh my gosh, like, I love those shades. It was purely because it was by FEBBLE and I had a really good high opinion of FEBBLE, and that opinion has only been lifted today. Like, it's not in any way disappointing me. It's just made me like wonder, who are FEBBLE? Like, who are they?
Who is she? Who is she? Who is she?
The quality of these eyeshadows are head and shoulders above other eyeshadow formulas that I've tried from ALIEXPRESS. This is just something next level. Like, it's so special. I hope that I was able to show you the, you know, the eyeshadows going on clearly enough so that you could kind of see that for yourself. I think, you know, the swatches were brilliant. I just found this whole palette a pleasure to work with. So yeah, there's no criticism for me. There's none. Zero. Nothing negative I can say at all, other than this, potentially at this point in time, is my favourite palette. It's my favourite palette. I'm so happy. I could marry this palette right now if weddings weren't cancelled, or if I wasn't engaged to honeys. Like, I would marry the palette. I'd be one of those people, you know, like, have you seen videos on YouTube and the people that marry bridges and like trees and cars? Like, that would be me with the palette. Like, really, I would be the crazy palette lady. But anyway, guys, I am going to go. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and I hope that it was useful to you. I just absolutely love this whole look. Not bigging myself up or anything. Like, I feel like I'm bigging myself up when I say that, but I just love it. I love it. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go. Thank you so much for watching the video today. I really hope that you and your family are safe and well and coping okay in these really tough times too. Anyway, I hope to see you in the next video and I hope you're doing well. Bye.